Hello fellas, today I will show you how to replace the screen on a MacBook Air. So I'm getting out of the bag and I will show you the damage of the screen. As you can see, the MacBook is live and running, but the problem lays within the screen. The screen is crashed completely, beyond the repair. So today I will show you how to replace the entire screen for this 2020 year MacBook Air. So I shut down the MacBook and you have to prepare to remove the screws. So the back cover contains these 10 screws which I'm highlighting here, and you have to remove with the P5 or T5 screwdriver tip. The cover screws are visible here, but the long ones must be switched over. If you made it so far, give yourself a candy. Using only qualified and authorized tools, carefully remove the back housing of the laptop, as you can see here. Once the lid is open, do not rush. Do everything carefully and gently. Mainly focus on this section, but first remove the battery connector to avoid any shorts. Then remove the antenna cables. After, you can remove the Wi-Fi antenna screws. Finally, the middle part, and concluding with the hinges over there. So let's begin. Unplug the battery first. So here I'm using my T5 screwdriver tip for my electronic screwdriver, which is absolutely fantastic. And as you can see here, I'm removing screws from the Wi-Fi antenna, which is placed over there on this MacBook Air. So be careful when after you remove the screws, you should pull out the antenna, but it's glued over there, so be very gently and careful. And remember, first you have to also deal with the middle part. You will see in a future. Here I'm switching to T4 screwdriver bit to deal with the middle part and the other screws in here. It's strange how MacBook likes to have these Torx screws all over the place with the different sizes. So, but anyway, I'm placing the bits on a top corner for you to follow up which bit I'm using where, because it's confusing also for me. So yeah. And if everything is removed and screws are organized well, you can follow by removing the cables. These two black screws over there you should also remove. And then basically the unscrewing part is kind of done, except for the hinges of course. And then you can disassemble the laptop screen part from the motherboard to really remove it. Here I'm carefully taking out the antenna. I don't know exactly in which point I have to start, but I start somewhere. I'm gently pulling out the antenna with my tools. I use this tool to lift up the antenna. As I said before, it's glued on a place, so you should be very, very careful. And I found this easier to start from the left side. It came out more easier, so do not bend the antenna or damage it in any way, so be just careful and slightly try to move it up. And here you should remember that the screen cables block the antenna from fully lifting it up, so you should free the way for antenna to be like released from the screen cables to pull it up completely. So do not damage also the cables, be gentle, and do not rush in any way. As the antenna is free and out, you can now prepare to unscrew the hinges and remove the screen. So I use my T8 screwdriver. This is not an electronic screwdriver, but I still place the bit over there. So I remove the screws from the hinges, and in order to remove the hinges, you need to like pull the screen, like lift it up or like bend it a bit to get it out. And here you can see everything I removed from motherboard in order to remove the screen. I spent some time to like understand how the hinges are supposed to be removed from this main part of the laptop. So I cut here a bit and just leave the part where you can really see how the laptop is, like the screen is lifting up like that, right there. Yeah. So you should do the same. So save your time and do it faster. Congratulations if you made it so far. So I removed the old screen. No, but first I will compare side by side with the new screen to see whether everything is good in check. So yeah, everything seems to be fine. And now let's put back the new screen. I know I'm repeating myself many times in this video, but here while you try to put back the new screen, be very careful with the cables, because if you damage the cables, the screen will not gonna work. Also, I find this part be very like a bit frustrating, because I have to like keep everything in place and study. As you can see, it's not so easy to do, so that's why I choose to add one screw for each hinge to just keep the laptop open and not moving around, and also secure the hinges and the cables. So I have to check everything. That's why this is a bit frustrating part. Yep. And while we are on this place, so do not make mistake as I did and add all 3 screws just for the safety reasons, or yeah, do add all 3 screws, because in an upcoming sequence you will see that there's a small catch why you should add all 3 screws for each inch over there. And now you should put back the Wi-Fi antenna, also leaving cables in the middle as it was before. And do not rush over here, because the cables are kind of like fragile, so you should be very like gentle, you know that, and just follow the order as I did before. Just like put everything back, tighten everything up, and everything will be fine. Yep. And if the antenna is in place, so now you can screw everything back as it was before. So yeah, as always, the tips will be up there, so follow up. Well, I know what you're thinking. Why I'm struggling with the screws over here? Well, I just wanted to look everything better, like at a pro level, you know. But basically here I'm really struggling with the screws, and that's not cool. You should place the screw inside the bit and then tighten it down if you have a magnetic bit. If not, then you do as I did here, like struggling. Yeah, you see here I finally realized I have a magnetic bit and I can like place the screws inside the bit. So no worries. And here my screwdriver is slowly running out of juice, so I'm using my screwdriver as a like casual non-power screwdriver. Powerless screwdriver, I would say. Yeah, basically the powerless screwdriver. And I'm tightening up the screws with the T4 bit over here. And here you can see why I suggested you earlier to add all 3 screws, because here is the problem. The antenna is made in such a way that you cannot place back all 3 screws. It like blocks the way for the 3rd screw, so there's a little cutout over there, if you can see, if you can spot it. So what I end up doing, I was really lazy, so I lifted up, I unscrewed the antenna, I lifted up for a bit, and then I added the 3rd screw in place. So yeah, hopefully you will not have to do this, because you follow my suggestions and all 3 screws at the first place. And if you did so, please skip this part, because there's nothing to see here, because yeah, it was my mistake. Yeah, do not bother yourself with this. Yeah. This is actually not the first time I did this error. Once I was repairing the diesel generator, and I was also lazy, and I didn't want to screw back something and take it off, so I bent some part and put everything back as it was. And when I ran the generator, unfortunately, for my surprise, it ran at full speed and generated 400 volts instead of 222, and burned everything what was connected to it. So this is pretty bad habit for me. Just I'm trying to get rid of it. Alright, so it seems that the laptop is perfectly in right order, completely like screwed, assembly back. So now you can add the battery and secure it, of course. Then put back the back cover or lid or whatever you call it, and basically you are good to go. No, you should also add all the screws. And also I'm waiting for some kind of click. I don't know what it is, but I noticed when I was opening it there was some kind of like ding, and I realized that something like latches in place, or yeah, locking in, to be better expressed like that. So yeah, and then I was waiting for the same click over there, and there was some kind of click. I don't know what it is. If you know what that click is, please let me know in the comments. And also here I'm placing the wrong screw. No, it was the right screw. Yeah, this time it was the right screw. I'm getting rid of the bad habits. Speaking of bad habits, you also notice that when you assemble back the laptop or some other gadget, sometimes there are few screws left back. So my question is, why they put an extra screw over there? They want me to feel guilty about it? No. And this is the part where you realize that there was an extra screw in this laptop, and I don't know where it came from. Once I disassembly and assembly back one laptop 3 times, and I never found where this extra screw came from. And I just assumed that, yeah, they put an extra screw in there. What a bastards, no? And here I realized that this screw is not going fully in, and there's some kind of edge which blocks the screw from going back in place. And I was using a screwdriver to just gently push this edge away, and the screw went inside. And finally, we can test the laptop as it is fully assembly back. Now you can get your diploma for professional MacBook Air screen replacement job, I would say. So yeah, laptop works well. Everything is fine, in order, like brand new. Well, actually, it is brand new. Unfortunately, it costs a lot. Okay, goodbye.